Okay, video students, today I want to talk about the Zoom expectations. And this is a little flyer here that some teachers at Redwood put together, but it goes over the basics of what's expected in our Zoom meetings. As you know, Zoom is going to be a big part of Redwood and VUSD this year. So it's important to follow these simple yet very helpful basic rules or expectations. So first of all is be on time. Whenever your period is, whenever you're supposed to be in the Zoom class, wake up early, be ready. Log on a few minutes early. We always have challenges, you know, logging in. Sometimes the internet's acting funny, our computer's acting funny. We need to work through those challenges. So before class starts, make sure you log in. I would do it at least 10 minutes before. Now, if you haven't logged in and you're in, then go do something else, you know, while you're waiting to get into class, that's fine, but at least you're ready to go. The next thing is be in a quiet place. It's so easy to, you know, be in a room with a bunch of people and it's okay at first, but then suddenly everybody's talking, there's a commotion, and then I'm trying to do a lesson or we're having a conversation. And then what happens is we can't hear each other, and that's really important. So try to find a quiet place if you can. Check your surroundings. You know, use a table or desk. Kind of organize yourself. If it's in your room or if there's a quiet place in your house, you figure that out. You find what's best for you. All right. Next, be prepared. It's really important to be prepared for class. Your Chromebook should be charged. Your camera's on. Your headphones, if you have them, whatever device you're using, you're ready to go, prepared to listen and to engage in the class. All right, next one is be responsible. So if it's breakfast, you haven't eaten breakfast, eat breakfast before class. Be prepared and have your energy level up. So eat before class. Go to the bathroom before class. You know, I know. You know, in class, when we normally have normal class, you know, kids would raise their hand the first thing and, Mr. Henge, I need to go to the bathroom, you know. Take care of business before. Do it before, do it after class. I would suggest, I mean, I'm not going to monitor this, but, you know, in this thing, is not having drinks around your Chromebook. You don't want to spill in your Chromebook and then short out your Chromebook, and then you can't then be a student. You don't have access to all your teachers and then the different Zoom classes. Mute yourself when you're when a student or teacher is talking. And we'll go over this more in detail. And I can actually mute you guys if I have to. But always remember, whenever you go into a Zoom, first thing you should do is make sure your mute is on. Unless you're engaged in talking with the teacher or the person putting on the Zoom, always have it on mute. Participation. This is a big part of this class, especially this year, because, you know, coming on the Zoom, showing up on time, that's part of participation, and that's going to be graded. That's part of your grade. If you don't show up, you're not going to get the grade. You're not going to know what you're supposed to do. Be focused, be ready, be attentive, be an active participant. When I ask a question, I say, raise your hand. I'll show you how to go in Zoom. You can raise your hand, ask a question. You can chat and ask a question as I'm talking, and I can look at it and then give you a chance to respond or answer the question. Presentation, wear school appropriate clothing. So we all need to wear appropriate clothing. You know, we don't want to be in our pajamas. I want you to be comfortable. You know, I want you to be ready to learn, but be appropriate, school appropriate. If you have any questions, it's in your school handbook, especially when in the camera. Communication. So part of any education opportunity as a learner or as a student, you want to be an active listener, focused on what I'm saying, another student is saying. We have a special guest come in the classroom. It's real important to be an active listener. Wait your turn to speak. So I know sometimes we get excited, we have the answer, or we have an idea, or we want to share out, and it's important to wait for the opportunity. Wait for the time when I'll say, okay, does anybody want to share out? Or you raise your hand and I'll say, I'll choose you and unmute you. So this is all a new thing for all of us. So not in a classroom situation where I can look at you and point to you. It's going to be a little strange at first, with some challenges, but that communication is really important, and to listen is really important. Don't be dominant in the conversation. That's where one student takes over the whole class. Okay, stay on topic. So we don't want to go off on tangents, as they call it, or go off on wild stories. We need to stay focused on the content and stay focused on the lesson. Chat responsibly, raise your hand to speak. We talked about that. Type your question in the chat box. Be kind, be considerate. Oh, that's such a huge thing. Part of my job as a CT teacher is to teach you professionalism, and how you treat me and how you treat your fellow students is part of that professionalism. And if you're not doing that, you're failing the class. You're not performing. The job of a CT teacher is getting you ready for college and career readiness. So really important to be kind and be considerate. All right, be ready to take notes. Now, there's different ways to take notes. I'm not going to tell you you can't use a piece of paper and a pen, or you have to do it on a computer. You choose whatever method you want, but I would always suggest to take notes, even if it's writing down a concept or a question that later on you can ask me or look up on the internet, because everything's on the internet, right? So make sure you understand the assignment. It's really easy to hear someone and then afterwards go, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So please ask me. Now, if afterwards, after the class is over and you still struggle, you can use email and email me and I can reach out to you. Keep up with assignments. This is a big thing I've had a problem with the last few years, is students are getting way, way behind. And I've given them a lot of room, and I'm gonna have to start cutting back to say, okay, you got so many more days left. And after that, I'm gonna have to start cutting your grade down. And I don't wanna do that. I want you all to get A's in my class. So make sure your assignments are on time. Don't let the work pile up, right? So if you're showing up to class, I'm gonna give you class time to work on stuff so that you can use this time period that we have. And then as you work on something, you can raise your hand and say, Mr. Henshaw, I got a question about this. I didn't understand this. Because if you're working on something, you'll have the opportunity to learn what you do and don't know. But if you wait till after class and then go, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this, you're kind of waiting too late. So utilize the time, keep up with your assignments. Review notes and recordings, use your out of class time to prepare, to review what has been done in class, prepare questions for the teacher. So beginning of every class, it'd be really awesome if I gave a time and said, okay, any questions about the lesson, the past lesson, or assignment, or the project? This is your chance to really ask me. So I'll try to remember to give you that time period after we take a roll and after I see who's in the class, and I'll say, hey, how do you have a question? So that's really important. You can be looking at your notes and reviewing that. And you can take notes during the week when we're not in class. So in this class, we're gonna have two things. We're gonna have synchronous, which means at the same time. That's gonna be in the Zoom. We're all there together. And then we're gonna have asynchronous, which is gonna be time when you're by yourself. You're gonna be in Schoology. You're gonna be in Google Docs, or you're gonna be watching a video and doing a project. That's your time. That's asynchronously. So when you're synchronously, you're with me and the other students. Asynchronously, you're by yourself. So you're gonna have projects and homework and readings and things to do at both time periods. So take advantage of all the time I give you to do something. I want you to be successful. And ultimately, I want you to be a true ranger. And a true ranger is trustworthy, respecting the teaching process, and the learning of others. Respectful, be courteous to respectful of and cooperative with others. Understanding, be respectful of the classroom and your classmates. Effort, be on time, prepared, and ready and willing to learn. This is Mr. Henshaw, and this is my Zoom expectations.